In the previous video, we finished setting up our search tracker to monitor every stage of progress in completing this systematic review. Our database searches are done, deduplication is done. If you look at the Progress Dashboard tab, total records, 2,705. After deduplication, that drops down to 1,400. But when we look at the 𝗪𝗼 flow diagram, screening, still empty. Eligibility, still empty. Included, still empty. Every section is still blank. Now, when you see these numbers, this is the part that intimidates a lot of researchers. 1,400 records. Every single one needs its title read, its abstract reviewed, and a decision made. Include or exclude. If you do this on your own, each study record takes about 5 to 10 minutes. Multiply that by 1,400. How many hours is that? That's exactly why a systematic review can take months to complete, because the screening phase alone will consume most of your time. But now, we have AI that can help carry the heavy lifting for us, not replacing our judgment, but speeding up the process from weeks down to just a few hours.
Let's head over to SRxAI.online. We're going to continue at step 4.1, screening. You can see here that for the screening phase, we'll go through two key stages. First, title and abstract screening, then full text screening. Both stages use the same tool, SRscreener.online. And below that, you'll notice that 4.2, forward and backward search using citation chaser. We'll cover that part in a later video. For now, we're focusing on title and abstract screening. This is our first layer of screening. But before we run AI screening, there's one important preparation step. We need to make sure our data is clean. Specifically, we need to check whether all study records have their abstracts. Because if the abstract field is empty, the screening decision becomes much less reliable.
Now open EndNote. Click on Create a new library. We're making a dedicated library for our systematic review project. Name it based on your SR project. Save it inside the same project folder. Here's the new EndNote library. Everything is still empty. Now we're going to import our deduplicated records. Remember the RIS file from TerraTools, the one we already combined from all databases and removed duplicates from. 1,400 references imported. Correct. Do a quick check to make sure it tallies with our deduplication number from earlier. Now we're going to take one critical step before we begin the screening phase. We want to find study records that don't have an abstract and update them all. Because AI screening relies on both the title and the abstract. If the abstract is empty, the screening decision becomes less accurate. Go to Advanced Search, change the first field to Abstract, set the condition to Abstract Is, and leave the value field blank. Click Search. 81 records identified as having no abstract. Out of 1,400, 81 is roughly 6% of total records. Not a huge number, but significant enough that we need to handle it. Save this search as a smart group. Label it as No Abstract. Total 81 records.
So how do we fix these records that are missing abstracts? There are two approaches we can use. The first approach. Select all records that don't have an abstract, right-click, choose Find Reference Updates. EndNote will try to find and update those selected records from online databases. We started with 81. Now it's down to 72. That means 9 records will successfully update it with their abstracts. Save this as a new smart group. Label it No Abstract Update. 72 records that still don't have an abstract even after attempting the update. For these 72 records, we'll need to manually search for the abstract and enter each one individually. This is also the second approach for obtaining abstracts for those records. My recommendation: if a record looks potentially relevant based on its title, make the effort to find its abstract. If the title is clearly outside our scope criteria, leave it. The AI will exclude it based on the title alone later on. The important thing is, we now know exactly how many records are affected, and we've done our due diligence to prepare the data.
Now, go back to SRxAI.online under the Title and Abstract Screening section. You can see the workflow laid out clearly. We need to provide 2 documents, the full protocol document and the deduplicated RIS file. We already have both of these. And what will we get back? Screened results in a table format, ready to paste directly into our search tracker. There are 3 steps. First, upload the full protocol to the AI chatbot. Second, paste the prompt to generate a customized screening prompt. And third, open a new chat, upload the RIS file, and run the screening. Take note, steps 1 and 2 happen in the same chat. Step 3 happens in a brand new chat. This is important. Do not mix them. Click on SRxAI.online. Here's our first page, Setup. You can see the Getting Started section. As I mentioned, this is the summary of the workflow. Continue to step 2, Quick Screen. This is the prompt that would generate a customized screening prompt specific to our study. Notice the yellow warning there. That's exactly why we did the earlier step in EndNote. We already know about the 72 records with no abstract. We've already handled it. Click Copy. Open an AI chatbot. New chat. Make sure you're using a thinking model. Upload the full protocol document first. Drag and drop it in. Then paste the prompt we just copied. Click Run.
Now, this is the critical step. Open a new AI chatbot with a thinking model, a new chat, not the same chat as before. Paste the screening prompt we generated and copied earlier, then upload our deduplicated RIS file, the one with 1,400 records. Click Run. Look at the results. Total records screened, 1,400. Correct, it tallies. The decisions break down as follows. Include high, 256. Include low, 384. Exclude 760. What's the difference between include high and include low? Include high means the AI is very confident the record is relevant. Include low means it's potentially relevant, but the AI is less certain. Both are still treated as include for the next stage. We'll review both later. The exclusion codes are specific. Every exclusion has a reason code attached, transparent, auditable. If a reviewer asks why we excluded a particular paper, we have the answer. Download the CSV file. The screening output file has been downloaded. Save it in your project folder. Open it in Excel. You can see all the data neatly organized. Record ID with DOI link. Title. First authors. Year. Screener 1 decision. Exclude code. Exclude reason. Now there's one thing we need to do. The first row is a header row. We need to delete this header row before pasting into the search tracker because the tracker already has its own headers. Scroll all the way to the bottom. Row 1400. Correct. Select all the data from the first row to the last row. Go back to the search tracker. The dashboard still shows title and abstract screened as empty. We are about to update that now. Go to the Screening Log tab. Click on cell B4 because we want to start pasting below the header. Right-click, Paste Special, Values Only. Values only, not a regular paste. Because if you use a regular paste, the Excel formatting can break the tracker's own formatting. The data is in 1,400 records. Each one now has a decision. You can see the color coding. Include high is green, include low is yellow, exclude is red. The template auto-formats based on the decision values. Now sort the data so all include records move to the top. That makes them easier to review. After sorting, look at the records marked include low and include high. Pay attention to the DOI link column. Some of them show NA. This is important. Records without a DOI usually aren't proper research articles. They might be book chapters, conference proceedings, editorials, or errata. Items that should typically be excluded. But you still need to check. Don't assume. Some legitimate research articles are missing a DOI simply because the database export wasn't complete. So what should you do? For every record marked include, whether high or low, that shows NA in the DOI column, manually verify it. Search the title in Google Scholar or Scopus. If you find a paper and it's genuinely eligible, add the DOI. If it turns out it's not a research article, change the decision to exclude. Why is the DOI so important? Because the next stages will use the DOI to retrieve full text, for data extraction, and for forward and backward searching. Without a DOI, that record essentially has no address. This part is manual work, yes, but it only applies to records marked include and only the ones where DOI shows NA. That's far more manageable. For the steps that come after this, we'll continue in the next video. See you there.